I couldn't believe it. Hold on, let me get the clip. He is literally keeping the live on while he went into the bathroom to blow dry his hair. I can't make this up.
Mother. That is mother. That is the face of a mother. Our mother. And I have to adjust this really quick. And this is just a really short video because I'm really, really happy to see that Becca Scoops actually addresses Ryananderson. Just the fact that it's been almost exactly 2 years since Gypsyrose was released from prison, it has been more than long enough that Ryananderson has gotten over their very, very short-term marriage. And Gypsy and Ryan were not allowed conjugal visits, so they didn't even consummate their marriage until after she got out on December 28th of 2023. And of course, I remember this because I did the math. But she wasn't even with him, living as man and wife for 50 days before she was already emotionally cheating on her husband, Ryananderson. Not even 50 days. That's not even 2 months. And she even admits that on her reality show when she's talking to Ken on a FaceTime, that guess what? He found out that you've been talking to him since February. Yeah, mid-February. We know that she officially leaves him in March, gets pregnant in April, has a whole baby in December, and that whole baby is a year old very soon here. So I'm really glad to see that a bigger content creator has addressed Ryananderson. Now I have given him a lot of class, a lot of grace, a lot of healing. But like I said, he's clearly stuck and he clearly has issues with substance use disorder, specifically opiate use disorder, gambling. He, from my understanding, had some kind of gastric bypass or lap band surgery. So addiction is something that Ryan suffers with. And I am so compassionate and empathetic about that. And he is stuck. I think he got a little taste of fame and stardom and money. And when Gypsy left him, she took that. And I think he cannot stand the rejection, not the rejection of Gypsy, the rejection of what she brought, what he felt like having that close proximity to fame, cameras, money, a lot of social media clout. I think that rejection, not feeling good enough for your own wife to stay, I think that is what is hurting him the most. Not the grief of her leaving, not her not being there. I think that's where he's having issues. And he has been in this repetitive, negative self cycle. And we're just seeing that. And I have a lot of sympathy and compassion, but that doesn't mean you get to harm and hurt and grift and take advantage of real people that were really there to support you in that hurt, in that abuse, in that trauma that was inflicted on you. But so much is only so much. What was really gross about this episode is she was telling Ryan that she wanted to go really blonde, really noticeable blonde, while she's in the bedroom telling producers that Ken likes blondes and that because she's not a blonde, she would get stressed in prison and take nail clippers to her hair. Hindsight is always 20/20, but this really creepy look that Ryan gives her, he says, oh, you're going to be a whole different new person. I'm not going to recognize you. You're not going to be my wife anymore. Ryan already subconsciously knew that she wasn't going to be his wife anymore. She wanted to be Ken's wife. That was pretty obvious. And what she did to Ryan, what their, the whole family, what they did to Ryan was not okay. It wasn't right. But it doesn't give Ryan the excuse to continue with his negative path, his negative behavior, the way he is treating people, the way that he's talking to women. Like 95+% of the people that watch his lives and supported him are women, middle-aged women, if not older. I also don't agree with Gypsy putting it out in the world that Ryan and his brother, who is a decorated vet with true PTSD, that they're both on MAT, specifically methadone, and that they abuse it because they take too much. They run out of their prescription and they have to buy it, or they have to share each other's prescription. I was really upset and very vocal over that because that was completely fucked up and out of line. But I expect nothing less from somebody who is as heinous and as evil as Gypsyrose. But even if he is not taking his medication as prescribed and he's taking more, then he truly is stuck in an active addiction. And I wish him the best in recovery. I've even gone out of my way and sent him resources for a really, really great state-of-the-art facility. Gave him the number to a clinic, to a specific doctor, a specific nurse who could help him. And he certainly made enough money, over $22,000 in less than 4 months on Cameo alone. He could have went to this clinic for only $9,700. He could have been free from the chains of MAT. He could have been free from the chains of methadone. But of course, all I did was give him that resource, and I took time out of my life and day to provide that to him. It's up to him if he wants to ever utilize it or not. But if he's not actually taking his medication as prescribed, and we've seen him nod off. Ryan actually does nod quite a bit in his lives in the last 5 months or so. And that was very concerning to me. Also, he admitted multiple times that he lost a really large sum of money on a sports bet website or app. He's also talking a lot about buying really expensive food from really expensive restaurants. The problem is he's getting his money solely, 100% of his money is not coming from a job. It is not coming from work. It is coming from live gifts. He doesn't make actual videos, actual content on TikTok. So therefore, he is not making money from the TikToks. He's making them from gifts and also the Cameo. Now, I could see if this was just something to tide him over, but he's been doing this since Gypsy left him. And the TV show wasn't paying him anything. I feel bad for the guy because he's stuck, but that's not a defense. That is not an excuse to be an asshole. It's not an excuse to talk to and treat women like shit and then immediately say, oh, I'm sorry, shouldn't have done that. No, stop doing that, because you do that 200 times every single live, every single day. So I'm just really happy and excited to see that Mother called him out. That's it.
Now here's where he's gonna, okay, show his ass. Literally.
Right. So do that there.
Okay, just here we go.
My daddy used to say, better a smart ass than a dumbass. But he also used to say, better no crack than ass crack. He also used to say, it's a plumber's smile. You can't push a chain. And he used to say, it's colder than a witch's titty in a brass bra. That comes to mind seeing Ryan's big old butt crack.
Here we go.
I'm hitting the phone. Right. So do that there. Anyway, just so y'all know, I did get a restriction for promoting my shirts. No, my pants didn't fall. That only happens when your mama comes over.
I can't. That bastard.
And that right there is the part that I have called out. And he finally blocked me about 4 months ago, but I don't care. I don't care because he talks to women like shit. He quickly forgets that most of his viewers are women. And he used to get thousands and thousands of people out of almost 1 million followers that he has on TikTok. Now he doesn't even get 250 to 300 people in there. And he keeps blocking. With only 200 or 300 people in your live, you have no chance of even getting 1 or 2 of them to even buy a t-shirt. At that point, it's not even going to be worth it trying to sell merchandise. And he's, a little too late. I could see if he took advantage of this, almost 2 years ago. He should have monetized and capitalized off of that shit right when it happened. And he should have got his bag, but he's trying to do that now, 2 years too late, because the end of March 2026 will be exactly 2 years. And that's crazy.
I'm doing my own thing. She didn't create polls. I did that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't create Team Ryan. I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did Cameo first. You know, like.
Actually, that's not true. On February 16th of 2024, Gypsyrose had done a whole expose with TMZ where they said, yep, she's doing cameos. Here, we're going to do free marketing and advertising for her. And that quickly didn't last, though, because Gypsyrose will not do the work of actually making videos and content. That's below her. Duh. And of course, we know that around September of 2025, she came back to Cameo for a second time. So Ryan is intentionally lying, but he's such an asshole. He didn't create polls. TikTok had that feature to do a poll always. Ryananderson also did not create Cameo, but he probably got the idea from Gypsy because she was on Cameo before this time. February 16th of 2024. She was trying to get in on it. But it's also not ironic that she lied to everybody because she also said all of this, remember? And at one point with him being a condescending asshole and, you know, her just being an outright liar, they kind of were meant for each other. But, you know, her karma is the controlling freak and asshole that Ken is, because Ryan's level of creep and ick and control doesn't even match Ken's.
Stuff like that's not me though. Like, I don't want to have to charge people to just be nice or say happy birthday. I'm the type of person that, hey, send me a message. You want a happy birthday? I'll make the video for free. Like, I don't want to charge people. Make the video for free.
I don't do videos about her. So, Maddie, hey, get a little red. Yeah, well, I need a haircut. I'm not gonna lie, I do need a haircut. I'm growing my beard out. I need to trim this up, but I'm growing my beard out. It's starting to look better here. But I do need a haircut soon. Why do you wear a different NFL jersey every time? Whose fan are you? All right, Alex, if you knew me and knew who I was, all right, I'm a Who Dat fan, I'm a Saints fan, but I wear jerseys of people who are LSU people. So why was Becca Scoops mad at me?
That's the look of the bad kid on the playground having his ass called out by mother. Ain't nobody mad at him. They're just so over his condescending asshole ways. The ways that he talks to women, the ways that he keeps trying to grift off of women who watch him, the very few that still do, mooning people on a live and then complaining that he got a restriction for selling shirts. You got a restriction because you keep having your butt crack hanging out, dude. And I am just really, really glad that somebody else did decide to call that out. I mean, that's their choice to or not. But yeah, somebody needs to bring attention to it because he's stuck. He's stuck and he needs an intervention. And like, hey, dude, you know, you need to pull yourself away from this TikTok. You need to pull yourself away from this live. You need to like start looking for a job. He used to be passionate about talking about his work and everything. Now it's like it's just all gone down the drain. And that's really sad. And I can understand that Gypsyrose caused him an immense amount of trauma and pain. I've covered it since before she was even released. I've covered all of it. But here's the thing. He allowed that little monster to not only steal his passion, steal his job, not once, but twice, steal his reputation. And he is just sunken and he's stuck in this place. And it's really, really sad. And I have a lot of empathy and compassion for him. But I think Becca Scoops is right when she says somebody in his life, somebody in his circle, in his sphere needs to sit him down and tell him this is not the way anymore. It is not a way to solely fund your lifestyle off of grifting of other people. That is what Gypsyroseblanchard has always done her whole life. Ryan needs to find his passion, to find his heart again. And I think he has a lot of really deep issues and mental health issues that he needs to address first. But I really hope that he does that. I really, really hope. But it's not going to happen until people stop giving him the views. Stop enabling, nourishing, and encouraging the behavior, because he's lost. He doesn't even talk about the things that he loves anymore other than sports. And even that, he really doesn't talk about it with a passion like he used to. It's now all of these really horrible sexual snapback remarks, comments, making all of these rude sexual comments about people's mothers and then laughing at himself and then saying, oh, I'm just joking. No, you're not. You're not. And people are tired of it and they're sick of it. And he's not going to get the picture until there's nobody left watching him. And maybe he doesn't realize that he's stuck. Maybe he needs therapy, something, but he's not going to realize it until he really opens his eyes and sees, okay, this is not working for me anymore because people aren't being receptive anymore. They're not enabling me anymore. They're not going to buy this bullshit anymore. And that is true. I've talked about that multiple times. There is no such thing as Team Ryan. That was very, very short-lived. After Gypsyroseblanchard left him and filed for divorce and started cheating on him, got knocked up by a whole nother, man, had a baby during season 1 of her show for a very, very, very small period. There were people that were either Team Ryan or Team Ken. Who's gonna win the heart of convicted murderer Gypsyroseblanchard? But it's not a thing. The same way justice for Pixie was never really a thing. And it's not his thing. And it's so demoralizing and so degrading because Team Ryan only exists with the co-part of Team Ken. Like, your reputation and everything is tied to Gypsy and that man that she cheated on you with and had a baby on you with. Literally, it's tied to Team Ken. Why would you want to do that to yourself? I want to see him thrive. I want to see him move on, even if it's not with finding a woman. He needs to get his shit together. He needs to find his own passion, his own happiness. He needs to live life. And I pray and I hope that that happens, but I've spent a lot of time truly praying for Ryananderson, all for naught.
Why is she mad at me? She ain't got no reason to be mad at me. That's for damn sure.
See, he still doesn't understand that nobody, even Becca Scoops, is not mad at him. People are just turned off, disgusted, and they're just tired. They are just beyond tired. They are beyond done. People are just done. They are done. They are done being manipulated. They are done with Gypsy. They are done with her rotten, evil, demonic family. And they're done with that condescending little asshole, Ken. But the sad part is that Ryan is the same way, and he just doesn't see it. He just doesn't see himself objectively for how he really is, for how he really talks to women, for what he's really doing. But it isn't the way that he should be living his life. He really should be focusing on getting healthy, getting better, living life, not stuck in this deep, dark, really negative hole in place, because his whole body language, his behavior, his words, the way he talks to people, it's all reflective of that. It's not reflective of anything good or positive. And that's sad. That's really sad to see and witness. And I can give him a lot of class, a lot of grace, a lot of sympathy, empathy, compassion. I understand the mental health issues. I understand the addiction issues. But at a certain point, it's no longer defensible to excuse it or justify it, okay? Because you still have a level of pure responsibility for yourself, for your mental health, for your addictions. You still have a level of responsibility for your life and for getting better and for moving on and doing what you love and are passionate about. And there's also no excuse for him to constantly be a condescending asshole, because the way that he talks to women and the sexual innuendos and clapbacks and yo mama sexual remarks all of the time, that is how he really thinks. That is why he says it all the time, because that's how he really thinks. It doesn't matter if you keep saying sorry, if you keep repeating the behavior 365 days a year for 2 years straight, okay? It's enough. It's enough. People are just over it. They're just over it and they are just done. And people liked Ryan and they were really rooting for Ryan, but people started to understand why she left him. And then the prison emails where he was begging her to stay with him despite her telling him over and over and over again that she's not in love with him. She's in love with Ken. She can't get over Ken, that she doesn't want to be married. She doesn't want to be with him. And he pushed her anyway. And yes, Gypsy is responsible for her choice to still marry him, despite and regardless of not loving him. She made that choice. But it's high time that Ryan gets over the fact that Gypsyrose never loved him. She left him. And her leaving him is not as bad as he has really demoted and demoralized and degraded himself over the last 2 years. And that is what is so sad and tragic to watch. He has hurt himself more than Gypsyroseblanchard did. And I want to see him thrive. I want to see him live life, and I want him to get his passion for life back. It's just that simple. But Becca Scoops being mad at him? No. Nope. She was just telling the truth.
Why? That kind of ticks me off.
It only takes him off because he knows it's the truth. It's a mirror, and that he was called out. He knows this is all done and over with. He knows. And he knows that at this point in time, he can't even slink away with his pride because he has no pride left. And it's not just sad. It's pathetic. It is pathetic sad because he did have potential, and he is a human, and he is flawed. But, he seemed like a decent guy who deserved happiness. But at this point, he deserves what he gets. He deserves what he deserves. And if he wants to stay stuck constantly on TikTok Live, grifting, conning money, scamming money out of, middle-aged women and blocking women and making horrible remarks to real women, horrible sexual, predatory remarks towards women, then, he deserves every bit of criticism that he gets.
I guess. Whatever. She says that? Really? Okay. Beard old, just saying. I will probably watch it myself. I probably will.
That's really funny that he says he is going to watch it himself, because in another little part that Renelle Smith caught of this live, he actually says that he already watched it. That's what I think is hilarious. He's acting surprised because other people have watched it and are telling him. And I think that is hilarious that he says he already seen it and then he says he's going to watch it. And you see, Ryan is lying. He is lying to you guys. He is lying. He has become as bad as Gypsy. They didn't even live together as man and wife for a whole 3 months, 50 days before she was already cheating on him behind his back. And you're going to tell me that she rubbed off on him that much? No, I think that's who he really is. I think that he wants to be better. I think he wants to be a good guy, but I just really do feel that he's stuck. He's stuck and he's defensive anytime anybody says anything that is remotely critical or the truth, because, a lot of people that struggle with addiction issues, they don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to see themselves objectively in reality, because then that means that they have to be aware enough, self-aware. That means that they have to admit that they have a problem, and therefore there's no excuse to not get help. Then they can't blame anybody else from that point on.
But whatever. Wow, really? Okay. She has nothing to say about me. So she just makes up shit. Right? Okay. I have seen the recent episode.
See, what did I tell you? He did watch it. He is fully aware and he did watch it. And yet he's telling everybody that, well, he's going to have to go watch it or he'll probably watch it. And then he says he already did. I don't know. He kind of seems like an incel at this point. One of those men who just have a really hard time actually getting women. And the way that he is over sexual with his remarks all the time tell me that he's not doing too well in that department. But if he were to focus on himself instead of trying to grift money off of other people for nothing, for simply turning his phone on and turning the live on TikTok and facing the camera towards himself, if he went and actually got a job, if he cleaned himself up, if he went to therapy, got gambling help, got help with, his other addictions, maybe he can get back into the dating world one day, but he needs to get his shit together before he will be a good candidate for anybody to be with. And the fact that his mind is always in the gutter, and the fact that he is lying to people, he is deliberately lying. It's not okay, and it does deserve to be called out because he's been doing this for 2 years. This is the really dark, demonic path that people who seek fame and money, that they travel down. This is where they end up. And I think it's come to a very critical point for Ryan because he's not making the money that he once did. Only so many people are going to get cameos from him. And then he's not going to get any more coming in. Say, for argument's sake, 500 people pay you to do a cameo. You're not going to get 5,000 people to ever buy a cameo. Okay. You know, so many people are going to, and then that's it. Nobody's going to order them anymore. So he's not going to be able to get, you know, anywhere from $7,000 to $12,000 a month on them anymore. And unfortunately, Gypsyroseblanchard has been learning that lesson the hard way. People aren't going to come and look at your bullshit anymore. Only so many people are going to support until they're just going to become really tired of the same old bullshit and they're not going to support anymore. Especially with the cheesy ass fucking captions that she always posts under her pictures and her boohoo pity me victim narratives. And I'm so strong, I'm moving on and I'm living life and I'm rebuilding a better future and I'm going to break the cycle and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. People are not stupid and they get tired of that shit really quick. That's why her subscribers have plummeted, her followers have plummeted, and even her views have plummeted. She has like 0 engagement, hardly any likes at all. Nobody watches her stuff anymore. The truth has come out. All of these case files have come out. People have covered it. And you know, when it comes to Gypsy herself, I mean, she's really offering no real content. Ryananderson himself is not really making and offering up real content. Why? Because neither one of them want to actually do the work that it takes. And it is a lot of work. I have 7 different setups that I use to make content across 5 different platforms. It's not just hardware, software, having the internet, electricity, having software to be able to edit, knowing how to edit, microphones, phones, laptops, tablets, doing voiceovers, having all of your clips and pictures organized and having storage for all of that organization. It's work. It's not like, hey, I'm going to Walmart. Come shopping with me. Yeah, you know, people are getting over that too. The whole do it yourself, the whole get ready with me outfit of the day. That is stuff that was really like 2017, 2018, 2019, then COVID hit. You know, that's not really like the content anymore. I don't even want to go to Walmart when I have to go to Walmart. I don't want to come with you while you go to Walmart, Janice. Okay? Give it up. It really is like be committed and be all in and be a content creator. Okay? Because you can't be an influencer if you do not make content or just really, you know, like shit or get off the pot. Shit or get off of the pot.
Beard oil. No, I bet she did. I don't know. I don't know why she would. I don't know why she'd turn on me, but whatever. I can't prevent what people do. So she's mad at me for selling shirts. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. Oh well. Like, I'm not mad. It's whatever. Like, people can say whatever they want. Right there. Team Pixie, Team Ron shirts. Right there. Yeah, this is Christmas gifts. Akasha, I appreciate you. Simone, they're $25. The lights are super cool. They're amazing.
He actually thinks that everybody was on his side, people that were anti-Gypsy. It's not about being on sides, and it's not about being angry at Ryananderson. It's about calling out his bullshit, and my goodness, was that so hard to watch and so hard to get through. I literally want to cry, fake cry, just like Gypsyrose. I'm not a monster. I'm a good girl. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I didn't kill nobody. All the 3 things she did do? Yeah, that's Ryan. That is Ryan in denial. But the fact that he was that worried about Becca Scoops actually saying something, and she either wants to or not, and the fact that she chose to, I'm kind of happy about that, because as somebody that is a mother figure, maybe he'll take it seriously now. Maybe he'll actually realize who his audience was consisting of, what it was comprised of, and maybe he'll make positive changes for the better for himself. And I really wish and I really hope that for him. But yes, the t-shirt idea is 2 years too late. There is no justice for Pixie, Team Pixie, or Team Ryan without Team Ken. And that ship has not only long sailed, it has went around the globe 500 times and is now out of commission. If he was going to capitalize and monetize the whole t-shirt idea, he should have done it in early 2024. He should have not teased it for 2 years. He should have made the bag and he should have dipped. And he's doing it now because he clearly needs the money. He's not getting the views, the live gifts, the cameo sales that he once got. And what he was doing originally looked like it was only supposed to hold him over when Gypsy and her friends cost him his job by exposing that he's on methadone. People were more than willing to help support him, through that. But everybody thought by now he would have gotten a real job, that he would have made some positive and proactive changes for himself, his future, his life. But here's the thing. He is downright lying to people now. He is talking really trashy and disgusting to people now. He is grifting and just plainly using people now to fund everything in his life. And that's not only conceited and entitled and selfish and self-centered and condescending, especially with the government shutdowns, with the economy, with the holiday season. Other people should not be baited, provoked, or manipulated out of their hard-earned money because they feel bad for him. At some point, he needs to make the decision to stop treating people like that, to be honest, to be transparent with people instead of getting pissed off at them, making sexual your mama jokes, calling people derogatory names and then blocking them. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be said and that I have already said about Ryananderson, but yeah, the t-shirt idea wasn't a good idea. It's kind of done. It's kind of over with. It's kind of long been played out. And to do this shit to people, grifting off of people, especially right weeks before Christmas, when a lot of people can't even afford a Christmas for their own families, their own kids, their extended family, it's not just rude. It is, he's just so tone deaf. He's just so tone deaf, and we're over it. I'm over it. I know other people are over it. So I'm kind of glad to see that Mother was over it and that, she made a video and talked about it. And kudos to her. Good for her for doing it. Did you see the face of Ryananderson when somebody told him that, hey, Becca Scoops had addressed, you and some of your life? He looked like the school bully on the playground getting called out by the principal. He looked like the bad kid at the family reunion, wiping a booger on his cousin, digging in his butt crack, and then putting his butt cheese all over his brother's face. And he got called out by his mother and got in trouble. He looks like the kid that was told in 1977 to go outside and get a switch off a tree. And he had to slink away in shame to go do that. That's the surprised look on his face when he mentioned Becca Scoops. And shit, I ain't gonna lie. I was scared for him for a second there. But yeah, he needs to stop talking to women like that, and he needs to just give it a rest. Just give it a rest. It's done. We are so over it, Ryan. So over it. And I hope you have a great Christmas, but not at the expense and the money of other people. Especially not in today's economy, not with the government shutdown and everything that had to do with just everybody losing their Medicaid, their food stamps. People are really struggling to even provide food for their kids right now, let alone Christmas gifts. And you're over here trying to get people to buy $25 t-shirts and to fund your rent, your electric bill, to fund your gambling, to fund your addictions, to fund your nice, expensive luxury dinners. And it's tone deaf. It's tone deaf and people are just done. They're just done. But I really do hope and pray that he has a great Christmas and a great New Year. And I really hope that his mother or brother, somebody, pull him aside and really have a heart-to-heart with him. Tell him, get off the internet. Get off the internet. It's done. Give it a break. And that's all I have for now. I'm kind of glad he did block me because now I can't see his lives. I mean, I'm really glad that Renelle Smith still is able to capture them. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I love you all. I pray for you all. I am so glad that you are here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please like and share. Do not forget to smash the subscribe button, and I will catch you all on the flip side.